So that is how the theory naturalis come to that final point. What is the beginning? So first of all, there is no beginning, just to be easy to understand. But if I have to choose, if I philosophically have to choose the one moment in history of universe where the beginning is beginning, I will choose it by the black hole. Okay? So that is the reason why I'm choosing the black hole. Because the universe, as we know, is made by magnetism. There is a two force in us. And one is hyperboloid, that is one vortex coming in from here and one vortex coming in from the bottom. That's the hyperboloid, like hourglass, shape of hourglass. Mm-hmm. Okay? That is the dielectric of force. That is the potential force. That's when water rush in to put down this element. You rush in, okay? But when the water comes near to the element, they lost its power and then they splash out.
Yeah.
So this splash out is called magnetism. Not magnetism like you buy a fridge magnet. No. It's a magnetism. So this magnetism gives us space, okay? So when you are hydrogen, you are the nearest one to the black hole. And I'm talking now science. I will tell you what is going on by scientific approach. You are nearer the black hole. So you have one vibration rotation in this 3D axis, in this 3 axis. You are rotating in 3 axis slowly because you are nearby to the source. The more we go far from the source, and let's say you are oxygen, you are 8 points far from the source because oxygen have 8 electrons. So 8 times there is a problem in this rotation. So if you are 8 points from the source, that means you have 8 before you, which you have to take over to come to the source. Because you must understand, here we are talking that these two folk, actually this sympathetic resonance is actually that they want to put you down. They want to make you quiet.
I never told
so
them. I always thought like this one, because one is shaking, because one is doing vibration. I never ever would that cross my mind that this one wants to put it quiet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is actually when you understand that when you have thunder outside, we all think that thunder is coming from up to down, but it's actually not at all. Thunder is coming from the middle to up and to down. Totally different approach. But let me finish this one. Yes. So the more far you are from the source, the more faster you have to rotate. The more energy you have to draw in.
Yeah.
Because you want to overtake all those guys to come to the source frequency. You get my point. All these frequencies now disturbing you. All those frequencies. But you don't want to get into any of those frequencies. You want to get into the point frequency.
Yes. Your start. Okay. Is that what you're saying? In your starting point.
Yes. So the more faster you rotate, this hyperboloid become bigger and bigger because you have more and more energy draw in, but the space becomes smaller and smaller. So one moment you come that you have no more space. Okay? You have no more space. You are all energy. You become black hole. So the universe is black hole and then element, black hole again. And then element. Of course, you're not in this. They move every way, 3D, 4D. So the black hole is actually beginning and at the same time an end of the world. So the black hole is actually something now during the last 2 years, we have super big research on the black hole. Okay? So the black holes have something which we call cosmic jets. Let me intro to your public what is the black hole. Black hole, they say before, that is a dead star who collapsed down into itself. And the energy of gravitation becomes so big, they become singularity, the singular atom or singular something. But the gravity is so huge, they can even bend the light. Okay, that's the black hole by Newton or Einstein explanation. Okay, black hole actually is like any other atom, but so huge dielectric force that this atom doesn't have space, actually cannot introduce itself to the world we know. We know the world only if it is introduced by magnetism. Magnetism is actually making space around you. Okay? So we know how you look like because of magnetism. No magnetism, you disappear. So that's why we cannot see the black hole. Black hole is there.
Holding me
Yes, black hole is all the time there. But we cannot see it because it's not in our universe. Our universe is dual universe. You have bad and good, light and black. Yeah. You have cold and warm, and so and so. You have duality. But if you have no duality, then you are not in my universe. I cannot recognize you. So we have cosmic jets. Okay, now imagine one thing, that you have so high, so big gravitational force that even the bend the light, but somehow from your center, blow out the hydrogen plasma, thousands and millions tons of hydrogen plasma, million kilometers into the air. That's impossible by normal logic. But it's not impossible if you think that this hydrogen is actually not blown out from the black hole, it's actually made on top of the black hole. Because black hole in that moment becomes starting point for the universe. So this is the most simplest explanation I can give to you, okay? I cannot go simpler than that. Okay, so what is the point now? The point is how I come to the water. Then I study the water. And then who is telling you that under the electronic microscope, he can see something like electron or whatever, something like dots of electron, but he's lying. Under the electron microscope, you can see only one round and rings surrounding, rings, okay? So we don't know what is these rings. We don't know actually what is electron, okay? But we base our whole chemistry and physics on that which we don't know what is it. That is the problem. We based our science, chemistry, especially chemistry. We make all this bond using this electron connection. But we don't know what is electron, okay?
Yeah.
So now you must understand. We have presentation of the water to look like Mickey Mouse head. I call this water presentation to look like Mickey Mouse head. We have one big oxygen in the middle, and we have two small hydrogen look like Mickey Mouse ears. Okay, yes. This is Mickey Mouse head.
It is.
But actually, water doesn't look like that.
Okay.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. The water most look like I will not be vulgar because for me is using the word of human parts of the body. So you imagine that you have two boobs from women, which is connected in the middle, and here exactly in the middle you have one nipple, and that nipple is oxygen. So two huge boobs, 8 times bigger on the back, and one nipple, that's oxygen. So That's how the water look like. Because hydrogen is now the biggest element. The more you speed up, the more you're rotating, you become smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, so the hydrogen is the slowest in rotation. He is the biggest. He is number one. Actually, there is a 3 element before him, but we still never get into these elements. We don't know this element. So the hydrogen, if we write down the new chemistry, if we write down the new physics, if this one, Theoria Naturalis, ever become real, the hydrogen is going to be the biggest element, the slowest, biggest, and the less energy element. The more you go down, the more smaller you become. So in nature, big doesn't mean powerful. In nature, small, concentrated means powerful. If you look the light amplitude, you have this long amplitude from infrared. And infrared is the lowest energy light we know. But if you have ultraviolet, you have so small amplitude, so near to each other. And that is the most powerful ultralight light we know. After that become X-ray and so and so. But let us put ourselves only on the light. So because of the hydrogen construction by itself, if you remember, I told you from beginning, we have 2-3 approach to the universe. One approach to the universe is stupid, okay? And that we need to go and conquer the universe to give it some kind of spirituality, seem like God gave to us. But actually, even to the atomic, that is why my water research was very important, because I was thinking, even the Russian guys, even the guy, something like John Pollack from USA, he talk about easy water and so, but even those guys, they never talk about anomalies in water which starting from the atomic structure. They talk about anomalies which start from molecular structure. So this is something like, if you go down to check your heart, and you are checking your heart, but you never check your cardiovascular system. You get my point? You never check your vein or artery or whatever, because you just concentrate on the heart.
One part.
You presume that your vein and artery is okay, but it's not that way in nature. In nature, everything starts from inside and grow up outside. So if you are looking for anomaly, that is why today physics has a huge problem. They cannot find gravity. They cannot describe gravity. They cannot simplest way, they cannot describe gravity, because this description of gravity, which Einstein gave, the curvature of space and time, doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work. They have already proved many times that doesn't work. But right now, they're still holding the govern on the law, and that's it. Nobody talk against, nobody talk for. But they're really in trouble. They're really in trouble. So what is actually going on? Because we must understand that on the atomic structure, by the atomic structure, the universe already on that atomic structure have a spirit, have consciousness. So when you start to build structure from atomic structure up, like molecule, if you're talking about human body, like molecules, cells, organs, and so and so, we are thinking that everything starting from the atomic structure. That's why I told you, all the atoms you have, I have once, somehow, okay? And on top of that, water by itself can carry the memory. So I was doing the experiment in, I think, 2020, when it's Corona time. So I do one experiment. I take one water and I do fast freezing photography. A motto from Japan. He specializes in that. Okay, that's the crystal. Everywhere they show crystal of love, crystal of that.
Yeah.
So if you do the fast freezing photography, so you take a water and apply some emotion on that water. Like I come in, like I am today, super nice feel, and I come in and I take picture of the water. So if the memory of the water is based on molecule, they're supposed to burst out. When I do electrolyze, of water, I separate water to the oxygen and to the hydrogen. Okay? So now I have separated water into two gases. Now I bring up gases, burn it out, and water become water again. Okay? And I take this water and shoot the fast freezing photography. And guess what? The picture is the same. The picture is the same. That means if I repeat this process about 10 times, I have for Saturn, I am 100% now, that this is where the memory is stored. Memory is stored into
water. Can I ask you, while we're talking water, I had past few days, I come across something really nice, something really interesting regarding water. So there is that lady she's from England. Her name is Veda Austin. Did you hear about her? So what she found, she's also a researcher, and what she found is that water has its own language. She was doing experiments. Yes. For instance, she would play the water Stairways to Heaven, music from.
Yeah, I know.
So, and she had her certain technique how she freezes water, and when she does photography, she knows how to do it. And every single time she repeat experiment also many times, and water, the surface, the ice turned into stairways. And yes. What happened a few days ago, someone introduced me to a lady from America who does that technique. And going back to our roots, to our beloved Bosnia, I like to do a little bit of meditation and, journeying and stuff like that. So, and my vision was, I saw Bosnia and the rose flower, come to grow somewhere from center all over it. And when I finished my meditation, I was very curious, and I was thinking where that geographical center of Bosnia is. And I went to explore, and it's a little town called Vitez. Vitez means knight, right, in English. So yes, maybe not knowing that. So I put a little video on YouTube about Bosnia and Rose, and one story from 1400s about one girl called Divina, and she checked that video with that water. What she found out, she showed me the picture. There is a sword, clear sword. I went to see Vita's coat of arms. It's sword. And it's one is like just a sword, that's the symbol of the town, and the other one is a knight on a horse. So what happened next? She saw little bird, and she said that bird, that was her intuition, that bird speaks Baltic. And I'm thinking now, what's connection in between Bosnia and Baltic? And that girl Divina that I was telling you about, there was a story of her from some document from Kotor, Montenegro. It's in its museum. There's a document that girl Divina was sold as a slave because of her heretic she was born into heretic family, which my opinion would be old religion, like Bogomils, or, in the West, they would call them paganism, stuff like that. So I went to check what's Baltic story. How now that Divina girl and Baltics would be connect. What I found out, because Baltics are so remote and so hard to reach, Christianity actually came there last. And it was only a few centuries ago. So that knowledge before Christianity, it's very pristine there. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
To Baltic mythology to understand, going back to first video, to understand the sword, to understand the story of Divina, that girl Divina, through all of it, took me there so I could come back and understand her, who she was. And Lady in America, not knowing nothing about that, I can send you a picture. She have like a plate, and then there is a water, frozen water, and she draws out how he sees stuff. And people reporting who doing this, water simply communicates. And it can be used as a portal to see the future. She talks because she had memory. And if it's true, water is everywhere, right? At least on our planet.
Yeah.
And if Ant was yours,
Yeah.
Ant was mine, and we shared that same water, does it, that little atom holding, atom, call it whatever, that little particle, the smallest particle of water molecule, I mean, is it that it's holding that memory of that girl Divina? And she somehow, I don't know how this is big, but you know what I mean? So it's all memory here. And with our intention, our mind, we can find our ways around it and put it in a sense, the story.
Yeah, you must understand one thing. Let me start from beginning, okay? Water doesn't have a time. Okay? Water absolutely is not changing by the time. Nothing will change. The water which we know now is older than our solar system. So you can see the water you drink from your pipe behind you is older than our solar system. That one we know. So it's nothing is changed in the structure of the water. Like, if you have a rock on the time after wind or whatever is changing, the rock becomes smaller or bursts into the pieces or whatever. But water as itself will never change. That's number one. Number two, the hydrogen is morpheus. You can take a hydrogen in atomic level, and like with a clay, you play a hydrogen. He squeeze out in, and everything happen in the world, water register. Yeah. Okay? So how the water talk to us, that is the basically the most important three ways of water talking to us. One is by vibrating. Mm-hmm. And we call it phone recording. We can record phonic what is water talking to us by electromagnetic sensor, and we record, and we have recording of the pyramid water. Mm-hmm. So I will give you so you can listen how the pyramid water look like.
Beautiful. From Bosnia.
The second way, yes, from Bosnia. The second way of water talking to us is optical way. That is Emoto. Start to research that. That's when you're fast freezing the water, they become some structure, and you look into that structure and you see what water see last. I mean, you see what water hear or see or get into energy last. Okay, that's the short-term memory. And then you have the basically the most important memory, and that is the long-term memory.
Wow.
The long-term memory is the memory which we cannot erase. Without those memory, our DNA cannot reproduce. If it's not water memory, it doesn't exist. The whole world, as we know, by nature, by our life, will not exist, because the DNA by itself cannot reproduce life. That is one huge problem which today genetic have. It's called ghost DNA. If you take one DNA helix, separate into two, one of these helix you place into the structured water. Inside the structured water, the water will organize the ghost DNA by itself, by itself. So that means what? The water have one side and they will organize another side. You can reproduce the ghost DNA. We call it, in the science, we call that ghost DNA. It's much more complicated than what we have from everyday information. Our information is very hardly filtered. They simply they don't want to know. So let's say 3 or 4 days ago, I have one video, and then I wanted to introduce 100 people to the universe. Okay, Balkan people.
Mhm.
But people unfortunately cannot get the point because I'm not a good guru. I don't know how to meditate. I don't know how to teach people how to meditate, how to get into this stage. So I will redo again sometime. But I was showing to the people all the time, and I will show to you now exclusive what is the presentation of the God in our universe. So I can show you directly how God present itself in our universe. It's a water. Water is actually presentation of the God. If you are looking in philosophy to find how the God looks like, that's how they look like. And you must understand that we as a people are not responsible for it because, not our fault, because we are under influences that some guy, somehow, somewhere, make us from the clay.
Yeah.
And we get passport to conquer the universe because in this story, universe is dead, rock, stupid.
Yeah.
And we wanted to conquer that, to bring life into it. So we organize this planet, but our we of universe. That's our universe. And the most important thing for us as a human being is to conquer the nature.
Yeah.
We build bridges, we build railway, we build everything possible. We don't think about nature. We don't think about any other creature. We only think about us.
Yes.
I don't
Agree.
talk about profit and money and so. I'm talking only about basically things. So
yeah. Control. We want to control all of it, like put it under control. Yeah.
Under control.
Yeah.
But doing that, we forgot the basic information we have in our own self, that we are the nature. We are the part of that nature.
Yeah.
And by conquering that nature, we are conquering ourselves. And we will bring to submission nature and we will disappear. We will disappear. And after we disappear, the nature will come back to itself. Because you must understand, there is no creature on this planet who walks against nature except human being. That is the only creature on this planet who walks against nature, who wants to conquer the nature, who wants nature to think how he thinks. We have no clue about nature. I will be very honest to you. We have no clue how the nature works.
Yeah.
We have our formula, we have our theory, but our theory and reality can be 180 degrees in two different directions. So that is the basically problem from philosophical view. By the way, you have one lady, very beautiful lady in Down Under, your neighbor, who also do the optical water research. I don't know her name. I will remember later on. A very beautiful lady who do optical research on water. Japanese is very far in optical research on water.
Yeah.
We in Europe is conservative against it because we cannot admit by Anglo-Saxon philosophy on science, we cannot admit that water have a spirit. If we admit that water have a spirit, that means our complete science must throw away and build up from beginning. That is the problem today. We have no problem, no other problem than that. We will be so stubborn that we will bring down the world instead of get in hand with the nature. We will bring down the world, complete world. That's how stubborn we are. Because deep down in our own self, that's philosophy, that's from childhood. And my mama get in her childhood and everything, the deep down, we imagine that we are the smallest mouse which nature kick around and do whatever it wants with us. So when we grow up into the mature man, we will do everything possible to put nature in control, to conquer the nature.
Because we feel small. Yeah, universe feels big and we are small, and there is storm and there is this and there is that, and we are
that feeling that we are too small, that we are too unimportant, and the main science today even bring the more and more proof that we are not important. We just live in this kind of philosophy, in this kind of culture that we are not important, but actually, if you think about universe, if you think about everything, if you think that universe is curved, that universe somehow is something like square, like ball. Okay, once you have a ball, whatever point on this ball you put your finger is the center of the ball.
Sorry, is the center?
Ball there is whatever. If you have one ball,
yeah,
whatever point on this ball I put my finger on, that's the center of that ball.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how the universe works. So we are all parts of that sphere, of that ball. And there is no such thing as unimportant human being or unimportant animal or unimportant something, let's put this direction. Okay? We are cutting down million and million hectares of the woods to make a newspaper. Once we make a newspaper, we read unimportant information in this newspaper, which absolutely is nothing to do with us, as existence of us. And then we throw that newspaper because tomorrow newspaper is already something new and today is nothing. And we never bring appropriate replacement of the woods. And by the Schauberger law, the first circle of the Schauberger law is if you cut off the woods, you become a desert. There is nothing to hold.
Absolutely.
Earth. Yeah. So you become desert. So what you are doing for temporary pleasure. For temporary pleasure.
Yes.
You are cutting woods. And you think that is absolutely okay because we have, you remember that? We have this special pass from the God that we are the most important teacher in the universe. Because only to us, God was his spiritus into us. So the nature is stupid. That's how the people think.
So
and there is a very simple experiment.
Nothing, or we feel everything, or we feel very small, or we feel very above everything. So it must be somewhere in between, like same as the rest of it.
For your viewer, I will give you a very special, also exclusive, very simple experiment. If, let's say, you have to kill somebody, and you have to choose from all the animal on the world, okay? And then the latest animal on this world, but we are animal also, okay, not human being, not human. It's, let's say, monkey. Okay? And if you have to choose between monkey and, let's say, chicken, you will always, by the nature of you, choose a chicken.
Yes.
Because the monkey is closest to you by consciousness.
Yes.
Okay? But we are now making another creature over us. We are now blowing in spiritus into the clay. Right now, in this moment. That's I.E.
Yes.
So we are now God. We play now the God. We take final rule. We play the God. Now we will make the world how we wanted to make.
Yeah.
We take a clay.
Yeah, exactly.
We make
yes. Put information
that,
in. Yes, I made you.
that figurine. We make this figurine and we now start already blowing in the spiritus. Once we blow in the spiritus, imagine one thing. How you feel, how we feel donkey. We feel donkey as walking animal. How we feel horse. We feel horse as a walking animal. How the IE will feel us as a walking animal.
Wow.
Because between us and monkey is 5% difference, 5%. If, let's say, somebody is more intelligent than us, 5%, they will be seem like apes planet again. But we will be apes in this time. You get my point?
Yes.
We will be apes. Because we are now making something which we have no clue how to work. We have no clue how to control. We have no clue what is going to be happen.
Exactly.
By the law of evolution, every time the superior creature comes on, they looks on the previous creature as bottom intelligence.